Good afternoon, Barbara. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. So I've received a referral from your family doctor, and he's mentioned to me that he's recently diagnosed you with osteoarthritis of your knee.
Yeah.
And he's subsequently referred you to come see me to learn a little bit about weight loss and weight management. Yeah. Okay. All right. To let you know a little bit about what we're going to do here today, you see all my food models. I'm going to spend some time getting to know you, what happens in your world on a daily basis, how often you eat, what you eat, that kind of thing. And then from there, we're going to talk a little bit about what we can do for developing some goals for you to help you out with your weight loss endeavors. Okay? The research that we see in the world of arthritis is that by small amounts of weight loss, we know that we can have a really good impact on affecting the knee joint in terms of management of osteoarthritis. So we're not talking huge amounts of weight loss, we're talking small amounts, as little as 5 kilograms. So knowing that, where we keep the goals small and achievable. Okay? All right. So tell me a little bit about what happens in your world on a daily basis. Do you work, not work?
No, I work. I work in retail.
Okay. Is it a full-time job, a part-time job?
It's full-time.
Okay. And is it physically demanding?
Yeah, it is. You know, on my feet a lot.
Okay. Do you work weekends?
Sometimes.
Okay. And do you cook and shop and clean your own home?
Yes.
That kind of thing? Okay. Tell me a little bit about whether or not you eat out in restaurants.
I eat out in restaurants, I eat dinner out about 3 or 4 times a week.
Okay. And what kinds of restaurants do you like to go to?
I like to go to the good ones. I like to go to French restaurants and pubs sometimes.
Okay. All right. So you've got a good variety of restaurants that you frequent. That's good. Okay. All right. Tell me a little bit about your weight. Has it been up? Has it been down? Has it been stable?
It's been kind of up.
Up?
It keeps going up a little bit at a time.
Okay. Oh, a little bit at a time. Do you mean over the years or over the last few months?
No, over the years it's just
okay. All right. Where do you think you're at today in terms of weight?
Pretty heavy.
Okay. Do you want to take a guess at how much you weigh today? Otherwise, we can weigh you after our session.
Maybe you can weigh me after.
Okay. And how tall are you?
I'm about 170 centimeters.
170 centimeters. Okay. All right. Very good. So tell me what happens in your world first thing when you wake up in the morning. What's going to be the first thing you would eat and or drink?
Oh, I have breakfast.
Okay.
I have orange juice.
Okay. This glass of orange juice is about 6 ounces. How much do you think you have relative to this glass here?
Oh, I have maybe at least 2, maybe even a little more.
Okay.
Glasses.
So you're having about 12 to 18 ounces of orange juice each morning. Okay. What else do you have with that orange juice for breakfast?
I have a couple of eggs.
Okay. And how do you prepare those?
I scramble them.
All right. And do you add any butter or margarine or oil to it?
I usually add some butter.
Okay. This is a 1 teaspoon, and this is a tablespoon. How much, or both of these, might you use in terms of the margarine that you use?
Probably use maybe the smaller one.
The smaller one? 1 of them, 2 of them?
Maybe 2 of them.
Okay. All right. And what kind of margarine are you using at home right now?
I use the soft margarine.
The one that comes in the soft tubs?
Yes.
Okay, that's a great choice. All right, and so you've got a couple of scrambled eggs, your orange juice. Do you have anything else with that?
I have some bacon.
Okay, how many strips?
About 4.
Okay, is it regular bacon, turkey bacon?
Regular bacon.
Okay. All right, and how do you prepare that?
I fry it.
Okay. And are you using, again, any of the margarines or butter? Just put it in the pan. Okay, all right. So bacon, eggs, juice, anything else?
I have a couple of pieces of toast.
Okay, and white bread, brown bread?
White bread.
All right. And again, what goes on that?
Oh, butter.
Butter this time, not margarine. Okay, and how much, again, using the teaspoon and the tablespoon?
Probably about that much.
Okay. Per slice or total?
Altogether.
Okay. Okay. So when would be the next time you would eat after your breakfast meal?
Lunch.
Lunchtime. All right. And what time does that happen?
That's about 12:30.
All right. And do you bring your own lunch to work? Do you go out to eat?
I go to the cafeteria.
Okay. And what kinds of foods do you normally purchase there?
Well, the other day I had a grilled chicken Caesar salad.
Okay. Was the dressing on the salad or on the side?
No, it was on the salad.
Okay. Did you have anything else with that?
I had some French fries.
Okay. I don't have a French fry sample, but I've got mashed potatoes. Might you compare it to this amount, this half cup portion?
Probably at least twice as much.
Okay. And anything else with the French fries?
I have a large Coke.
Okay. Now, again, not a Coke I know, but this is an 8-ounce glass. How many of these would be the same volume in Coke?
Oh, at least twice as much.
Okay. And is that regular Coke or a diet?
Oh, regular.
That's regular. Okay. And anything else with a typical lunchtime meal?
No.
No? Okay. And when would be the next time that you would eat?
I don't eat again till supper time.
Okay. And when is that normally?
Normally eat supper around 8 o'clock.
All right. I bet you're hungry when you make it home.
Starved.
That's quite a long period of time before your lunch and dinner. Okay. And what's on the dinner plate at supper time?
Well, I usually have some meat, like
Okay.
a steak.
Okay. Let's compare it to this size steak here. This is about 8 ounces.
Oh, that's about the size I have.
Okay. And how do you normally prepare that?
I fry it.
Okay. Now, what about the fat that we see around the outside rim here? Do you eat that?
Yes,
Do you remove
I
it?
eat that.
Okay. All right. And what else do you have with that steak normally?
I have some potatoes, mashed potatoes,
All
usually.
right. We've got a reference for that. How much of that?
I have quite a bit more than that.
I appreciate your honesty.
Probably about 4 times,
Okay.
maybe.
All right. Now, in those mashed potatoes, do you put butter or margarine?
I put margarine.
Okay. And which teaspoon or tablespoon might you
Probably
use?
put about that.
Okay. So 1 tablespoon of margarine then. Okay. Any other side dishes that goes with your mashed potatoes and steak?
I have a few vegetables.
Okay. Well, we've got some here on the plate. How much of your plate might be full of the vegetables?
Oh, probably about the size of the broccoli.
Okay. All right. That's about a half of a cup.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And how do you prepare your broccoli normally?
I steam it.
All right. Excellent. Anything to drink with dinner time?
I have some more Coke.
Okay.
Oh, no, I don't. No, I have milk.
You have milk. Okay, excellent. Well, how much milk compared to that might you have?
I have about that amount.
Okay, so that's one cup or 8 ounces is what that volume is. And what kind of milk do you normally buy?
1%.
Great choice. Okay. What about an evening snack? Anything after dinner?
Yes.
Talk to me about what happens then.
Well, I try not to have dessert, but then I get hungry later.
Okay.
So I have dessert.
All right. What's typical for dessert?
I have some ice cream.
Okay.
A bowl of ice cream.
I have ice cream. Talk to me about how much you would have compared to this.
I have about twice as much.
Okay. That's about 1 cup that's in there right now. All right. So 2 cups of ice cream. Do you have anything else with that?
I have some chocolate syrup on it.
Okay. And anything to drink?
Yes, then I have another.
Then there's the Coca-Cola. Okay. All right. Would that be a can or would that be the same size that you had at your lunchtime
No,
meal?
I just have a can.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you for being patient through this tedious process here, Barbara. But what this has allowed me to do is really get a good snapshot as to what happens in a daily basis when it comes to food for you. And I see that there are probably some areas that we can work on, but you're also doing a lot of really good things.
Oh, good.
All right, so let's start there, and then we'll move on to develop your goals.
Okay.
I really like that you're using the Heart Healthy margarine, the one that comes in the soft tub, the spreadable one. In other words, a non-hydrogenated margarine. That's a really great choice.
Okay.
I also really like that you're choosing, say, a grilled chicken breast over a deep fried or flash fried one, for example, with your lunchtime choices. That's really great. You're using a low-fat dairy product, so the 1% milk, which is also a great choice. And you're steaming vegetables like your broccoli. So you've got some really excellent habits already developed. So I think that based on the fact that we've seen some really good work already, I think that you're probably ready to go and take on just a few more, okay? So here's what I'm going to suggest. I'm going to review with you the areas that I think are some cause for concern, but certainly not you're certainly able to change them if it's something that you feel would work for you. Okay. So one of the areas that I see here, first of all, is that there's a lot of calories coming from liquids in your world. And so what I mean by that, by having the juices, by having the sodas, all of these contribute quite significantly to one's waistline, for lack of a better word, when they're eating it in excess. So to put it in perspective, knowing that you have approximately 12 to 18 ounces of orange juice at breakfast time, this 4-ounce glass is in fact what we would recommend your portion of juice be at any one time. So it's significantly smaller than what you're probably used to. Similarly with any soda products that aren't diet, those also contribute large amounts of calories. Okay, so that's one area, all right? The other area that I see quite commonly in people like such as yourself that are very busy with working full-time, getting home late in the day, what we find is that people are starving by the time supper time rolls around. And that's predominantly because you've gone almost 8 hours without eating anything.
That's right.
Okay, so from 12:30 when you eat lunch to wait till 8 o'clock in the evening is quite an extended period of time. The reason why we get concerned, other than the fact that you're hungry, is that we often see patients overeating at their supper time meals in order to accommodate the fact that they're so hungry. All right. The other area that I think that could also be identified as an area to work on is your portions of your protein foods. And protein is what you get from chicken, fish, eggs, chicken, etc. It's fine that you have it at every single meal, but the volume of the protein products is quite large. And additionally, the types of fat that we see on the outside of, say, a piece of beef or the skin that we see on chicken, it's added calories, and it also is the kind of fat that we know can do not so nice things to our insides. This is what we refer to as the saturated fats. We often encourage people to remove that. A, because it contributes calories, and B, we know it has negative side effects to things like cholesterol. Okay. So that's quite a list. And what I often ask of patients is to think about it for a minute or two and identify what you think is going to be reasonable for you to accomplish in your daily life until you come back for follow-up, and then we can talk about some new goals, certainly. But we want it to be something small, something that is reasonable, and something that you think you can easily adapt into your lifestyle over the next number of weeks. So we've talked about the liquids. We've talked about the large space in between meals, between lunch and your supper time meal. We've talked about the added fats from your meats. We've talked about the large portions of the protein foods. Any of those seem like they might be something you'd want to work on?
Well, I guess I could do with less orange juice to start in the morning.
Okay, I think that's a great place to start. So how much do you think is reasonable, knowing that this 4-ounce glass is the recommended amount, knowing that you would have 14 ounces to say, or 12 to 18 ounces? What's reasonable for you?
Well, I guess I could maybe half my orange juice.
Okay, I think that's a great place to start. Absolutely. Okay.
This looks very small.
Well, and as I said, if I told you this is the amount of juice that you were to have at breakfast time, that probably wouldn't be reasonable. So let's start with 8 ounces at breakfast from the 16, and we can see how you do. Okay. So there's one goal. I think that's very reasonable to work on. What's next?
Maybe I should change to Diet Coke.
Okay. Have you ever tried Diet Coke?
I did once, and I didn't like it.
Okay. So it's probably not reasonable for me to say you need to switch to Diet Coke then, right? And it's okay if you say yes.
Yeah, but you said that there's a lot of calories in all this liquid, so maybe I could try it.
Okay. I think that that's very adventurous of you, and I appreciate that. Maybe I'll give you a little bit of a helpful hint here.
Okay.
When you're grocery shopping, make sure that you give yourself enough time, first of all, as you're heading down any of the aisles, because there's such a large amount of choice out there. It can be a little overwhelming at times. the section of the grocery store that carries soda products, flavored juices, flavored waters, that kind of thing, there is a huge array of diet beverages on the market right now. It doesn't necessarily have to be Diet Coke or any of the other diet sodas that are out on the market. It could be a flavored water, it could be a diet iced tea. Could be anything. Sky's the limit here for you really in selecting an alternative to regular soda, because what you're essentially doing is removing all of the calories from sugar from those liquids and going to a non-calorie version, or basically a zero-calorie version. So there's a lot of variety out there, and it's up to you to really select something that you think you're going to enjoy, because it's not fair to ask you to switch to something that is not at all palatable to you. Okay? So maybe that can be the focus, is when you go grocery shopping, is to find something that looks appealing, that is calorie-free. Just look for the artificial sweetener labels that are on there and give it a whirl. See whether you like it. Okay. And was there anything else that you wanted to work on? So we've got the orange juice, the diet beverages. What else?
Well, I didn't realize that I was going so long in the afternoon without eating something. So maybe I should have a snack, and then I wouldn't be so hungry when I got home.
I think that's a great idea. Normally what we would recommend for patients is about eating every 4 to 6 hours. Okay? So your breakfast to your lunchtime space is reasonable, but as I think you've very clearly identified, lunch to dinner is a bit of a cause for concern. So the next obvious question then is, what's going to be reasonable for you for a snack food? What do you like? What's going to be easy to take to work? And what's going to be easy to eat if you have a very limited amount of time for a break?
Well, I could maybe have a piece of fruit.
Okay, I think that's an excellent idea. An apple that's about or a piece of fruit that's about the size of your fist is a really good reference point for you when you're grocery shopping and when you're packing up your snacks. Really any kind of fruit is going to be a good choice. Make sure that it's bright in color. Something that's fresh and easy to tote to work will be a really good choice. Can you think of anything else just to give yourself some variety?
Maybe a granola bar.
Okay. I think a granola bar is also an excellent idea. You can have a look at a lot of the labels. Often they'll say low in fat, low in saturated fat. Those are quite appropriate. The low in fat doesn't mean that 2 granola bars is necessary, but it just means have one, but you've made a really good choice relative to the original version that might have been much higher in fat. So things like a granola bar, a piece of fruit, some reduced fat cheese and crackers, some low fat pudding if you have a bit of a sweet tooth. The list is really endless in terms of snack food. I think the really important point here is that you may find that you don't necessarily require a late evening meal. In terms of having the 2 cups of ice cream plus the Coca-Cola, you might find that you can have a smaller amount, and you may find that your dinner portions will decrease as well because you're just not as hungry. Okay? So Barbara, I think those are really 3 fantastic goals for you to have a go at. What we'd often like patients to do is to give it a try for a few weeks, and then we'll book you in for follow-up and we'll see how you've done. Okay? It was a pleasure meeting you. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome.